Since September 11th, one man has played a role in every recovery effort, every evacuation order, every decision to shut down a city street or subway line.
What we should do is set up a monitoring point.
He is Richard Sheirer, the director of New York City's Office of Emergency Management, or OEM.
There's no book on a disaster of this magnitude. The number of people that have been killed and missing is just beyond comprehension.
The OEM was created in 1976 as part of the police department. Today, it marshals the response to any crisis that threatens the safety of New Yorkers. The morning of the attack, Sheirer, who reports directly to Mayor Rudy Giuliani, happened to be in a meeting at City Hall when he received an urgent message from OEM headquarters. The World Trade Center had been hit. Moments later, Sheirer issued his first order.
Thinking that we were going to have thousands of injured people. They said, activate the hospital plant.
As Sheirer scrambled to the attack site, he dispatched more commands. Shut down traffic in Lower Manhattan and close every bridge and tunnel in the city. 5 minutes after the attack, Sheirer was at Ground Zero, huddling with the city's fire and police commissioners at the base of the burning building. But as they began their work, the unthinkable happened all over again.
Oh my God.
At 9:03, the second plane pierced the skin of the second tower.
I was concerned. Now it was clear this was not an accident. It was a terrorism attack, that there could be other planes.
Sheirer says he tried to get a message to NYPD Aviation, telling it to do everything in its power to keep other planes away from the World Trade Center.
We need to make sure another plane doesn't hit this building.
He also tried to phone the mayor, who was on his way to the location, and warn him that it might not be safe.
I was trying to get a message to him not to come in a certain entrance because it was dangerous. Things were falling from the building and didn't want him to come in that way. And we were having a hard time communicating.
Minutes later, Sheirer and the commissioners joined Mayor Giuliani in an office building across the street from the towers. They sent messages to the Coast Guard and the Pentagon, itself under attack, asking the agencies to seal the city's harbor and airspace. Then, just before 10 o'clock, an unforeseen setback.
I was talking to my office on the radio. We had good communications, having them make calls, opening up, getting agencies in there. At some point, and really you lose track of time, one of my deputy directors got on the radio and told me we'd just been ordered to evacuate the building.
That building was the home of Sheirer's state-of-the-art emergency operations center, a bulletproof bunker designed to weather hurricanes, blackouts, and bombs. It was a dazzling array of manpower and technology, workspace for 58 government agencies, computers pinpointing every sewer line and subway tunnel, hotlines to the police and fire departments. But on September 11th, there was just one problem. The $13 million facility was located on the 23rd floor of 7 World Trade Center, and Sheirer's staff had to evacuate.
When we lost the city's emergency operations center, that was the one thing we needed the most, and we didn't have it.
And the situation was about to deteriorate dramatically. At 9:50 a.m., Tower 2 collapsed. Sheirer needed to respond, but first, he and the mayor had to escape from a building that was in danger of crumbling too.
We couldn't get out of the building. The building was being hit by debris. Tried 4 different exits, and fortunately there was a janitor who really knew his way around and got us out of that building. When we got out of that building, we walked out until to a scene that you'd think was a science fiction movie.
Then, at 10:29, the other tower came tumbling down. Hundreds of rescue workers, including some close personal friends of Sheirer, were inside when the building fell.
343 firefighters. That's a number that's beyond comprehension. 23 New York City police officers, 39, I believe, is Port Authority police officers, 3 court officers, EMTs.
Well, this is the worst I've ever seen.
People whose only role in life was to save people.
For Sheirer, there would be no time to grieve. With the World Trade Center gone and their emergency operations center compromised, a new command post had to be found, fast. Sheirer, the mayor, and other top officials headed north, away from the rubble.
I say we still go north.
We kept going and kept moving. The cloud of dust from the first explosion was starting to dissipate.
First, they settled in a firehouse 20 blocks away, but that office was too small. By noon, they had landed at a new location, the police academy.
We went to the library. We took the library and made it into an emergency operations center, which is, we had about 30 agencies.
Inside, Sheirer supervised rescue efforts and communicated with agencies working at Ground Zero.
One of the first things we do is check what buildings are habitable, what buildings are in danger of collapse to make sure we have nobody in harm's way.
Then, at 5:25, more devastation. 7 World Trade Center, the home of Sheirer's prized operations center, collapsed.
Somebody comes in and says, "Don't worry about number 7, it's gone." It just had fully collapsed.
In the hours and days following the attack, coordinating the search for survivors was Sheirer's top priority. And as teams dug through the charred wreckage, he made sure they were equipped with the latest technology: search robots, radar and laser imagery to help steer the firefighters away from the danger.
The teams that are out there working now know exactly where they are in the field, how high it is, where they have to go. Excuse me, guys.
Remarkably, 48 hours after the attack, Sheirer had a new emergency operations center up and running.
Calls?
No calls.
No calls so far, good.
Inside, 500 people huddled around the clock in this converted cruise ship terminal, coordinating every aspect of New York's rescue, recovery, and cleanup. More than 100 agencies worked side by side, sharing information and directing their troops in the field.
Have your IDs out, ready for inspection.
Police officers, sanitation workers, even web-page designers. All the tools needed to put New York City back together and even get Wall Street up and running just 6 days after the attack.
First thing we did was get them the infrastructure they needed, get them electric, telephones, water, get them transportation that they can get their employees in, clean the streets, make sure that they can get in and get out.
3 weeks later, the pace showed little sign of slowing. Thousands of people were still homeless and displaced. Hundreds of businesses still shut down.
Yes, they've taken some of our most precious